So you're telling me that the mainstream media that's embattled and losing money time and time again, with losing viewership time and time again because they absolutely suck, you're telling me that they would slander, lie, and try to take someone down who's destroying them as a single individual sitting in his room with just a video camera? No! Yes, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video, specifically talking about this website's top creator, and I would even argue one of the most popular people on the internet, Pewdiepie. And before we get into that, I want to thank everyone buying a t-shirt, a sweater, stickers, even a pillow, don't ask, for supporting us and supporting independent media that is not left-wing nor right-wing, but is an outlet that mainly believes in decentralization and freedom as our core values. Now, just jumping into this main story, the reason we're talking about Pewdiepie right now is because yesterday, Pewdiepie just released a video specifically saying that, quote, he is ending the subscribe to Pewdiepie meme, which is the #1 trending video on YouTube right now. It has also garnered a lot of political news, which of course I believe is important to break down and talk about, which we will in this specific video. Because for frick's sakes, there's a lot to understand here, and this is, honestly speaking, a situation which a lot of people haven't ever faced before. Pewdiepie really is like a canary in the coal mine as one of the first individuals, as one of the top individuals out there who has been able to garner large amount of views that crush the mainstream media. Someone who came out of nowhere and is really put in an extremely unique situation, which I don't believe any other human has been in human history with such influence, power, and numbers just behind him. And in my personal opinion, I don't think he needed to do any of this. I believe now the mainstream media will literally sense blood in the water because of this, and the situation will only get out of hand. But specifically, Felix Kellerberg, I think I said that right, that's his real name, that's Pewdiepie, he has asked his viewers to end the subscribe to Pewdiepie meme, and what people are saying was an apology video, where of course he detailed how a large number of individuals came to his support, put out billboards, rented trucks, put out advertising, and used this meme as initially a positive, fun kind of experiment, which of course pinned him against T-Series, an Indian Bollywood corporation, for who would be the #1 subscribed YouTube channel. And then of course many people got involved in this challenge, even held rallies, even held protests, and saw this as some kind of symbolic fun game, which Pewdiepie says it was in the beginning, but then Pewdiepie later describes how it was used for sinister purposes, and that now out of his 95 million person subscriber base, that there would be people who of course would ruin it for everyone. Specifically saying you are bound to get a few degenerates, specifically mentioning how even a World War II memorial was graffitied with subscribe to Pewdiepie on it, which of course Felix was upset about, had to publicly denounce, and even chose to donate to the memorial in response to this. Even though Pewdiepie himself didn't do anything, he still went above and beyond to make up for it. He said specifically he didn't want some of these negative things to overpower some of the positive things that were happening because of this, and then specifically he went on to mention the incident that happened in New Zealand, which of course the mainstream media lambasted him for, and other individuals personally blamed him for, because this lunatic in New Zealand who went on a spree of ending other people's lives, again I have to be very generic here because we are on YouTube and YouTube does censor speech here, but you guys get what I'm saying here. There was a lunatic in New Zealand who I would argue, as well as other analysts would argue, that ultimately hijacked social media for his deprived, sick acts, which he of course live stream, put out, of course, his public letter, made it an internet spectacle, and did everything he could to get as many eyes on his horrible actions as he could. It was motivated by, of course, getting attention by the media, who gave it to him, and at the same time not only incentivized him, but also others who will be like him, inspiring copycat killers, which of course the effect that we were talking about specifically with the correlation of how the mainstream media covers these events, and of course the correlation of copycat offenders. We got into that during those specific events, which are very important, and I think important to highlight here, because this lunatic, again, hijacked social media, specifically doing everything he could, including saying subscribe to PewDiePie in the beginning of his live stream video before, of course, committing his deprived, sick acts. PewDiePie pretty much explains that it was this event that made him do this video and why he is now calling for all of his subscribers to stop saying subscribe to PewDiePie. He has gone off on an emotional plea, said that this tragedy has affected him more than he has ever shown, and that of course he is extremely deeply saddened, and you could even see a very emotional PewDiePie in his own video. Now, honestly, in my opinion, I believe PewDiePie didn't need to do anything. He's going above and beyond, and I believe that is a reaction to, of course, the mainstream media attacking him above and beyond. Now, it's important to understand this lunatic in New Zealand did what he did for attention, did what he did because of a deprived ideology, not because of anything inspired or done directly because of PewDiePie, and to face any responsibility just on him for this, I don't understand it. I don't understand why he's even making this video, to be honest with you. Now, there is a lot of pressure on him. There's a lot of other people pointing the finger at him, saying, you are responsible for this. But in reality, you look at his videos, it's games. It's memes. It's him laughing. It's him being silly. Very rarely does he ever get political. And the most political thing he ever did was review a Jordan Peterson book and just talk about the merits of that book. And that somehow correlates him. And to me, this is unnecessary, to say the least. I mean, they got after him for so many ridiculous reasons. I mean, ridiculously claiming all of these allegations against him, where he, of course, he even had to unfollow the people he was following on Twitter because that created a controversy. He featured a 5-second clip from someone, and again, he got attacked for that one, which, of course, the obsessive, online, crazy, lunatic elements of the media somehow tied in to him being alt-right, and at the same time anti-Semitic. And again, they would just throw allegations against him, which again, I believe are totally unfounded and totally ridiculous. Now, yes, you may disagree with PewDiePie. You may not like him as an individual. You might think what he said previously before wasn't innocent, was controversial, but honestly, making the case that the media has been making for years is an absurd one. And I believe if you look at the facts, that's the conclusion that a normal, average, sane human being would go to. What's also interesting is that this is #1 trending on YouTube. Again, trending is curated. Not many people know this, but the trending tab is not the videos that get the most amount of hits, the most amount of responses. These are specific videos that companies usually pay for, or YouTube permanently places there. And many times, PewDiePie has made content and videos that have ranked as some of the top viewed, some of the top participated, some of the most watched minutes on this platform, and rarely have they been on trending. But now people are even pointing this out, that, oh, wait, PewDiePie's apologizing? Well, let's make that #1 on trending, and I believe that this is one of the reasons why he finally is trending. Because again, YouTube has been very, as to say, kind of skirmish, kind of trying to keep their distance away from PewDiePie, especially within the last few years when the media started bringing up more and more controversies, which has brought up more apocalypse, which has brought up insane rules, where, of course, the mainstream media now gets favorable treatment. The mainstream media now gets promoted. We're talking about any topic, their articles, not even videos, their articles will now be promoted to you. Rachel Maddow will be #1 recommended to you. Meanwhile, she was telling you how the Russians are going to frickin' cyber attack and freeze half of this country to death, espousing the craziest, insane conspiracy theories as a, quote, authoritative voice is just stupid. Meanwhile, independent media like me, who literally been on the ground on many times and instances, reported on things, has been here mainly because of user support, because 3/4 of my videos, by the way, get demonetized. 3/4 of them. 3/4 losing my income that I would naturally get. That's why your donations and support are more important than ever. But regardless of that, my work, being on the ground, that is deranked. That is hurt in the algorithm. That doesn't matter. The crazy opinions of Rachel Maddow, yeah. We're going to put that in there because of this, again, just absolute stupid mainstream establishment media that, of course, is doing everything it can to survive. And this is one of the reasons why, of course, so many people, of course, not all of them, of course, some of them are doing it fun, but I would say a faction, to be more accurately here, I would say a faction of the people who are saying subscribe to PewDiePie, just like this guy, as of today, literally, literally flew a plane in New York City saying subscribe to Pewdiepie. I would say a lot of the people see this bigger representation and see Felix as some kind of representation of going against all of that the media has created, and that's why people see him as a symbol. And I think this is more likely why PewDiePie kind of made this video saying, hey, that's a lot of responsibility. I don't want it. And I kind of don't blame him, to be honest with you. It's a lot of responsibility. I mean, freaking someone hijacked printers all around the world and urged people to subscribe to PewDiePie. This did get pretty serious, with even political parties coming in to the play here saying they stand with PewDiePie. There was even a whole nother platform that's based off blockchain technology. That's a live streaming platform that, of course, people have gone to because PewDiePie said, hey, I'm going to be streaming on this service from now on. I even started freaking playing video games on this. If you go to this platform, just type in WeAreChange, you can see a whole bunch of just silly video games, and also political talk, and also just other kind of live streams that I've been doing on this platform, mainly because PewDiePie said, hey, check this out. There's a lot of responsibility. There's even PewDiePie stickers for no reason in my chat room here. As, of course, an alternative to the bigger malarkey that has been happening with institutions like Amazon and Google, which, of course, respectively own Twitch and YouTube. But that's a whole different discussion, and there's even things I could be critical of DLive about, which I talk about on the live streams. But essentially, my last point here is I don't think PewDiePie needed to do this, but I could definitely understand why he did. Is it the right move or the wrong move? Well, what do you guys think? I would love to hear some constructive feedback on not only just the larger ideas that we described here, whether it was the right move or wrong move, but what can we do that's better? How can we serve you as the audience? Because hey, we're in 3/4 of our videos are demonetized. If they're demonetized, that means they're downranked in the algorithm. Just because they're downranked in the algorithm means that a large portion of our audience won't see it. And it's not even our audience anymore, it's YouTube's. It doesn't matter how many subscribers we built up, they just simply don't get shown the videos time and time again, and our numbers are dramatically hurting, even though we increased our production not only just once every day, but every single day, but 4 videos now a day. We've been busting our buttocks here, of course, on our main channel and even our backup channel, and we're still getting severely hurt, which absolutely makes no sense at all. Well, it does, but that's just, I could just make a whole nother video about that. But yeah, thank you for being here with independent media, and because of that, I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.